So let's talk some more about Nicki Minaj. Because your girl's back in action with another supercharged sex anthem for all the real freaky freaks out there.
She's alright, that girl's alright.
And, you know, it's alright. I mean, just to say it off the bat, I think it's certainly a better listen than her last sex anthem with an obvious sample in it. Because, you know, looking back on it, this song never really felt like sex to me, you know? The annoying school bell sounds, the weird affected voice, the verses that were essentially mini stories that just kind of peter out at the end, the random cackling like a mad woman at shit that's not really that funny in that final part. It just never really came across as trying to be like a sexy sex jam. It was more a jokey meme rap song than anything. But, well, a certain joint has come out since then. And it's basically become the new standard for which all raunchy sex songs are going to be measured against. Like, Anaconda was silly joke sex rap. WAP was, like, real sex.
I wanna gag, I wanna choke, I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat.
Like, HBO docu-series real sex.
Hop on top, I wanna ride, I do a giggle, what is inside? Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes.
We're living in a post-WAP world now, so in this day and age, if you're making a song called Super Freaky Girl, you better not skimp on the nasty.
One thing about me, I'm the baddest alive. He know the prettiest bitch didn't come until I arrive.
So we start off okay with her setting the stage as the baddest chick on the scene.
I don't love bitches, got to me, I fuck that man if they try.
And oh man, you better not fuck with her, she'll pull a salt and pepper on your ass.
I'll take your man. They can't be Nicki, they so stupid, I just laugh when they try.
Then it's like, oh, wait, didn't you already say a better version of this line like just a second ago? You already said that rhyme and the general I'll do blank if they try to come at me phrase, so it feels like a bit of a step down to repeat the same sentiment but with a lesser comeback. Like, maybe if she said something like, if their boyfriends are hot, I'll fuck them, but if they're ugly, I just laugh at them. You know, that would heighten the badassery a bit.
His ex bitch went up against me when she didn't survive. On applications, I write pressure, cause that's what I applied.
Okay, see, that's at least some wordplay there. Although, it is kind of funny to hear her in any way reference applying for a job, because as a famous person, that's definitely something she has not needed to do in over a decade at this point.
Can't fuck a regular guy, wetter than umbrellas and stickier than apple pie.
Oh, now see, that's the freaky deaky imagery I'm talking about. More of this, please. And this is another good line. It's not the most brilliant thing in the world, but it's serviceable and it matches the tone the song's going for. If there were more lines like this throughout, it'd give it that truly freaky feel to it that would make me want to put it on my Sex Dungeon playlist. I mean, if one were to have a Sex Dungeon playlist, that's what I'd put on. That's what they would put on there. You know what? Let's stop talking about me. Hypothetically, let's get back to the song. Now see, we're already taking our foot off the pedal of freaky deakiness with this line. Like, sure, lots of female rappers have songs about exchanging sex for high-class comforts, but, like, that's usually directly what they're talking about. But this specifically feels like she's complaining about the paint job on the bag she's getting. I mean, maybe the point is she's such a high-class chick, she's a stickler about the things she wants. But when she gets this specific about designer bags, it just starts to feel even more ridiculous to my not rich brain. It's like, no, not that super expensive stuff holder. I want the other more expensive stuff holder. The one with the designer color on it that makes the exact same materials of fabric cost $3 million more. It just makes me think, wow, man, you really just have this option, don't you? You really could just decide to get the bag with the less expensive design on it and use the rest of what amounts to pocket change to you to feed a goddamn tent city for a year. But no, you just had to have the specific color of brown, huh? Sorry. Like, I thought we were just gonna have a horny good time, but instead it's just kind of middling, so now all I can think about is the astronomical wealth gap between her and the average person. Look, it wouldn't be on my mind if she was doing a good job, alright? So, for those that don't know, BOLO is apparently an acronym for Be on the Lookout. So the line is saying, be on the lookout when I come through, be on the lookout. What a fucking waste of a line.
So hard, just took a knee. Give me my key ASAP, nigga, worth the race.
And then there's a final throwaway line about the guy buying her jewelry, cause get it, ASAP Rocky bought Rihanna a ring, and it's so sexy, you guys. It's just oozing sexiness. Well, there is also a remix where she added an extra verse. Ooh, and it's called the Roman remix. That's her old alter ego, right? Well, let's check it out. Maybe it's just what the sex doctor ordered. Oh yeah, now there's some more of those sexy sex rhymes I was expecting. Shrek? What the hell is that supposed to be, the porn parody of Shrek? And no, editor, please don't put it in an example. I'm sure the internet has enough. Who the fuck still keeps naked pictures in their briefcases? How old is this guy you're banging? Like, does he not know we have a much more efficient way of exchanging photos these days?
car and I'ma finish these dumb bitches. Michael Myers.
Ugh, I hate these rhymes where they take words with multiple syllables but only rhyme like the very last one so it barely feels satisfying as a rhyme scheme. Like Michael Carter and Michael Myers, like, come on, this is barely anything.
Tell that pussy get a chair, she cocky, I can spit to my own tape, so more than your album, drop a tear.
Yeah, you've sold more albums than whoever you're talking about. Wasn't this supposed to be about sex or something?
Bitch.
Oh, please, you couldn't hold a candle to Rick James's freakiness. Then again, his level of freakiness involved holding sex workers against their will and burning them with crack pipes, so maybe that's not exactly something to be envied. Overall, though, I give the whole affair a 3 out of 5. And honestly, it's because that hook and backbeat are doing a lot of the legwork, but Nicki just doesn't have enough consistency on the track for it to really hit for me. Like, there's a couple good sex raps in there, but it's not bursting at the seams with bedroom bully energy like the other perverted rap masterpieces I could be playing on my Sex Dungeon playlist. Ah, fuck, I just said it again. Editor, cut this part out! Well, let's kick it over to the feedback section, where if you donate on the $5 Patreon tier, you can leave a comment on what you think of the song I'm reviewing, for or against, and if I like what you have to say, I'll feature it in the episode. James Pitts says, I mean, it's alright, pretty much like I said. Just kind of feel like we've heard this song before, like she sampled Sir Mix-a-Lot with Anaconda, then came at us with a sample of Super Freak by Rick James for this one. I don't know if we needed it, but it's not the worst thing I've heard from Nicki. Flarbu says, her flow and delivery on this sounds like it could have been on Radio Disney. Goddamn. Very basic and uninteresting, and the obvious over-the-top sample and extremely raunchy lyrics has already been done before and better by Nicki. I think the song just feels really phoned in overall. But Life is Strange says, pretty damn good comeback single for Nicki. Really proud of her for being the first rapper in decades to have a #1 debut. Loved the callback to her 2013 remix of PTAF's Boss Ass Bitch in the second verse and in the bridge to French Montana's Freaks. So, some people were feeling it. Well, that's the episode. Leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe and the bell because it helps the most. Follow me on TikTok because I'm there now, and on Twitter and Instagram to know when my live streams are happening, and of course support me on Patreon to join the RC Discord to chat with me and fellow fans. So check that fun stuff out and I'll catch you next time. Peace.